Good morning, Menses. It's Thursday, February 2nd, 2017. Happy February, everyone. I'm Maria Guzman.
And I'm Haley Duran.
We have many important announcements and exciting events to share with you this morning.
Mustangs, this is the last week of the semester, which means today is a modified odd period day with a 1:26 dismissal, and tomorrow is a regular Friday with your even period classes and a 2:31 dismissal. Please note that there is school tomorrow, even if your siblings in high school may not have school. Tomorrow is a school day for Mustangs. In fact, it is a very important day that you shouldn't miss because it is the day of the district writing assessment, where you will be writing an in-class essay in your ELA classes. If you are absent tomorrow, you must still make up the test, so please do your best to not be absent tomorrow, so you can take the test with the rest of your classmates. As always, it is so important to do your best on assessments or tests, so you can demonstrate what you know and learned. Students, tomorrow is the day of the February Coffee Chat, which will take place in the library from 8:15 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Tell your parents about it and bring back those yellow forms as soon as possible. And teachers, please turn those in to Mrs. Hyatt as soon as possible. Attention 8th graders, if you're interested in attending Godinez or Segerstrom next year, this week is the last week to participate in the lottery. Parents may come to Mendes to enter in the high school lottery between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They must see Miss Rios if you have a sibling at Godinez or Segerstrom. You have a priority registration. See Miss Rios for more information.
Have you reserved your 2017 yearbook yet? If you have, great. You know when it's a good deal. But if you haven't done so, you still have a little time to get in on the $35 price. February 5th is the last day to do two things. First, any personalization such as adding your name, class year, or other icon that reflects who you are will end on February 5th. After that date, you will no longer be able to add your touch to your yearbook. Second, this is also the last day to reserve your 2017 yearbook for the price of $35. After this date, the price will go up to $40. Don't wait. See Ms. Rios in the front office to pay for your yearbook. Better still, have your parents go to www.jostensyearbooks.com to use a debit or credit card. Speech and debate members, there will be a meeting in Mr. Cheng's classroom, 105, tomorrow right after school at 2:45 p.m. FCA students, there is a leadership meeting this Friday with the second lunch meeting in Mrs. Donovan's classroom. Today's featured video comes from Ms. Caldwell's NHD students, Sophia Barros, Jose Guerrero, Jacob Hernandez, and Stephanie Gutierrez. February is Black History Month, a time we celebrate the contributions and achievements of Black Americans throughout history. This student-made documentary about Malcolm X will be shown in two parts today and tomorrow.
Malcolm X was a prominent African-American activist and one of the many political figures who stood up for those with colored skin who were treated as second-class citizens. Unlike most peak activists who were lively through the civil rights movement, he urged the disenfranchised to advocate for what they want by any means necessary. His childhood and personal experiences, his time in jail, and his faithfulness to the Islamic faith were factors that inspired his defiant philosophy and made it unique.
One factor that shaped Malcolm X into who he was can be found in his childhood and personal experiences. Segregation flooded around Malcolm since he was a child. During this time of segregation, there was a lot of danger that was placed on the shoulders of a black man, such as Malcolm's father, Earl Little. In the book Malcolm X, His Life and Legacy, written by Kevin Brown, the author mentions, the next anybody saw of Malcolm's father, Earl Little, lay bleeding across the streetcar tracks, his head bashed in, his body torn almost in two. The coroner called it an accident. The insurance company claimed suicide. Some said it was murder, most likely by the Black Legion, a Klan-like group that had burned down the Little House 2 years before. Brown, page 16. This shows how blacks were treated improperly and the sadness of Malcolm Little's childhood, which would fuel his anger. This sense of inequality on Malcolm's people influenced his philosophy by any means necessary, because he understands too well what will happen if he stands around and does nothing.
You can't do for yourself what the white man is doing for himself. Don't say you're equal with the white man.
Of all his 10 siblings and him, Malcolm's father allowed him to attend Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA meetings. Malcolm noticed that these meetings were different from his father's usual church meetings. Brown also states UNIA meetings were necessarily conducted by day and in secret. Malcolm noticed how different these meetings were from those of his father's congregation. People seemed more intense and more intelligent. In their presence, he too felt more intense and more intelligent. This means that Malcolm felt stronger when he was in the UNIA meetings. This feeling of more intense, more intelligent while being in an assembly could have influenced him to be more rebellious and defiant. This could connect to his philosophy by whatever means necessary, because it shows that if assembling helps you to be stronger, unite into a group. Because of Malcolm's sad childhood, being at a UNIA meetings made him feel more rebellious. His childhood and personal experiences influenced his political philosophy.
Another element that inspired Malcolm X's philosophy was his time in jail. When Malcolm X was convicted of burglary and arrested at the age of 20, he was convicted to serve 10 years of his life in jail. Mass Moments states in an article that Malcolm began a campaign to improve his reading and writing. This explains that he realized in order to fully embrace his passion, he had to be exposed to forms of education and learning, which then influenced him on his journey to becoming who he is known as today.
Thanks for tuning in this morning. Have a wonderful Thursday, Mustangs. Stay respectful, responsible, and ready.
Goodbye.